Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to week 15 of our 15-week CWS preparation course. I would like to start off by saying thank you very much. This has been a long haul. A lot of you have actually taken this course and listened to the recording, so welcome to all of you, too. I want to make sure that that we are still available, that if you have any questions, because in the review here, it looks like we've only got a couple people on for the review today, too. So I want to make sure that all of your questions are answered and everything goes through, so feel free to give me a contact and let me know if you have any questions. I'd also be very, very interested in knowing where everybody is planning on taking the exams. And the other thing I wanted, before I forget, to offer is that we do have another class that is going through. We just finished week 8 yesterday. That's pretty much a full class. So if you are not going to be taking the exam over the next couple months or the next week and a half or 2 weeks or 2 months rather, then let us know, and you're more than welcome to hop in on. We will send you an invite to this other class so you can go back through and kind of review courses and listen to them live. We've got about, on that class, we've got almost 20 people that are logged on. We were sold out of that class, but we've been averaging about 18 to 20 people on the class each week, which gives us room for a couple more to log on. We can have up to 25 people in each class. So if you would like to participate or get on that mailing and get on the invite list, that class is Wednesday mornings at 8:30 a.m. So if you'd like to go back through some of the later classes, you're more than welcome to and listen to them. So let us know. What I want to do today for review is I want to make this pretty much your class. Now, there are a couple things. I've got my entire desktop shared here, so you're going to be able to see my laptop rather than just sharing the PowerPoint. I've got the entire desktop shared, and I'm going to kind of cycle back and forth between a couple documents that I want to review with you and go through with you. I want to talk a little bit about the test, and I want to make sure that I want to talk about procedures and what you can expect when you take the exam. Is everybody here, is there anybody here who has already taken this exam once besides Jim? Is there anybody on that has already taken the exam, or that is this going to be the first time taking a WQA exam for individuals? You know, with the few people that are on the call, if you guys would like to unmute yourselves, if you have a microphone set up, you're more than welcome to do that. We can actually have a discussion. If it gets too loud, then we can do that as, you know, we can mute back and forth, or you can use the chat screen. But has everybody here not taken this exam or taken a WQA exam before? I did want to, before we go any further, I forgot about this, and I always like to do this at the beginning of every presentation, is to make sure that the information that I give to you is at least as valuable as the time that you're giving to me. I very much have appreciated the opportunity to be able to serve you. Okay, oh, you are taking, Catherine, you're taking this in Lancaster in September. Perfect. Okay. That's going to work out really well for you, because the class that we have going on now, there's a lot of EWQA people in it, a lot of them, and we are actually going to be doing an on-site review in September. So we will be there in September doing an on-site review. So this course, the review course that we're doing now, we're going to be doing live, and we're going to do some sample tests. We'll probably have some game, you know, do a game or something like that. So I encourage you to be there for that, and we will also do another review online. So, okay, Naperville, you're going to be John. So that's perfect too. If you would like to, if either of you are ready to or would like to hop on this, and any the class and review them and go back through. There's a lot more chat activity, obviously, when we have more people on the calls. We get a lot more chat activity, which is always kind of beneficial and helpful. And so let us know if you would like to be on the invite list. Just shoot an email to Jen or whatever. Okay. But let's talk a little bit about the test and what you can expect. First off, there is, let me open this up because this is a letter that came from Dr. Lubner, Tanya Lubner, who is the Director of Education. And let me pull this up here so that we can read. I want to be able to review this letter with you. Get the screens out of the way. So this is a letter that Dr. Lubner wrote, Tanya Lubner wrote, and it tells the categories and what to study for. She says, dear CWS examinees, below are some recommendations for how to use the books and the CWS One Study Kit to prepare for the exam. These are meant only as a guide and do not guarantee results. The books in your study kit are meant as background information. The questions on your exam are more practical than those found in the water treatment fundamentals. However, competency in answering the questions in this textbook is a good indicator of your preparation. The second textbook, Water Processing, Residential, Commercial, Light Industrial, is also very important for preparation. Pay attention to how the treatment technologies operate, what happens in their cleaning cycles, et cetera. When we've gone through these courses and we've talked about everything, I've tried to point out the practical stuff, the actual uses, to give examples. This exam will test a lot of that. Okay, the biggest thing on the questions that you're going to run into is don't overthink them. Okay, don't overcomplicate them. You guys know, if you've been here every week and you read the books and you've studied the material, you know the answers. You know how to figure this stuff out. Don't overthink it. There are 150 questions on the test, and I can tell you that when you're sitting in a room full of people taking the test, there are people that you look around and you're going to hear and sighs and just, I mean, because some of the stuff, the challenge with this exam is that there is so much information. You know, we've got well, the past 14 weeks have been on water treatment. You know, and so what do you study for? What do you study for more than something else? So there is a breakdown on this. She says, don't get nervous over the basic chemistry chapters. The exam doesn't ask you to explain atoms or electrons. So when you're reading the two books mentioned above, focus on what the contaminants are and how they behave in the water. So we talked a lot about that, right? So we've talked about iron and manganese and hydrogen sulfide and all that stuff. So are they ions, organic compounds, large particles? She says concentrate on which treatment technology can be used for which contaminant situations they should not be used, theory behind the treatment technologies and how they work, mechanics of how the treatment equipment operates, service and cleaning cycles and processes involved, troubleshooting. This is not covered in the book explicitly, although the water processing does discuss it a little bit, and we had a course on that. We troubleshooted, did some troubleshooting, and so, you know, what do you recognize? What would cause this to go bad? What wouldn't you use this for? There's a couple questions on there. Okay, installation. The best practices for equipment installation and related general plumbing code regulations. That's the basic stuff. Okay, air gap stuff. Sanitizing the equipment. You know, after it's been done, you're going to need, you know, is it a requirement to sanitize the equipment before you start it up? The answer is yes. I mean, that's general practice. What is the air gap? The air gap is double the size of the, you know, for a drain, right? It's double the diameter of the pipe, of the drain pipe, a minimum of 1.5 inches. So Jen's saying check often to make sure the exam question you're reading. She's given some excellent testing advice here, just test-taking advice. So she's saying, I mean, with 150 pages, you're going to get this packet, and or 150 questions. You're going to get this packet, and it's going to be thick as heck, and it's intimidating right from the get-go. But Jen's saying check often to make sure the question you're reading is the question you're answering. So make sure you're on the right number of the answer sheet. That will burn somebody. If you've ever taken these kind of tests before, where you fill in the little holes. Double check and make sure, especially if you skip a question and come back to it later, that's where you get in trouble, right, is because you kind of start, and that of course will screw you all up if you get mixed up on the question. So Jen's absolutely right, double check. Okay, cross-connection, backflow prevention, you should know what these are and how to guard against them. An excellent reference is the USEP Cross-Connection Control Manual. I mean, I guess you could look at that, but just basically know the most relevant thing that you're going to need to know about the cross connections is never run drain water or wastewater through your potable water lines. You never cross connect like that. Legal handbook and the code of ethics, there are going to be several questions related to the ethics, to the code of ethics. The code of ethics stuff is common sense stuff. I mean, it's stuff that if you're vaguely familiar with it, there are going to be a few questions on warranties, implied warranties, express warranties. You're going to have a few things like that. So I would be familiar with your warranties and those kinds of things. All right, so this is a letter that came from Tanya Lubner. Now I want to show you this. There are two samples that I have. Hopefully, let's see. Where's it at here? That's study recommendations. We'll close that one out. Get it out of there. But in the way there. And by the way, okay, that's one of them. And then there is another. That's the good one, the successful one, and I want to show you what the other one's going to look like. So let's see. Let me move these things out of the way here. I don't know if you guys can see my chat windows and everything open, but thought I had it opened here. Are there any questions? Oh, that letter, by the way, is posted, that I just read, is posted on the website, so in which we're going to go to here in a second. Okay, so you will. Here we go. Okay. So this is what will happen if you do not pass. Okay, you'll get a letter. If you have not been to the website, I'm going to go through and review a couple things, because a couple other things I want you to be aware of before you take the test for review. Okay, but this is a sample here of what happens if you, what it's going to look like if you do not pass. Okay. So you're going to get a letter, and it's going to say, regretfully, your total score was below the minimum passing score, therefore you fail certified water specialist exam. You may take the exam at your next opportunity. Hopefully you don't want that, but here's the categories that you're looking at: basic water knowledge, water problems, diagnosis, treatment technologies, application, installation, service maintenance, and regulatory. And so what they do grade on a curve, and they have the percentages, the average percentages that other people score on that, and you have to score at least average on those in order to pass each level. Okay, so scores in the exam are reported in two ways. First, you're given information on whether you passed the exam or not. Second, diagnostic information is given for each sub-skill, both the average percent correct and your percentage correct. To determine your areas of relative strength and weakness, you may compare your achievement within each area to the average. So that is that one. This is Jen's, by the way, when she passed. And you'll see that she didn't, so her average percentage correct. See, some of them, some of them were close. So she's here, barely, right at average. She's way above average on the problem water diagnosis, way above average on all these other areas. Installation, Jen, you did really well in the installation section. So this is how they go. So the basic water knowledge, you see she was right at average. So even being below that average right there did not mean that she didn't pass. It meant that because she did so well on the other areas, she did. So basically a good rule of thumb is roughly 70%. That's why yeah, you did good. You did good, Jen. That's pretty good stuff. So all right, so let's go to, I'm going to show you a couple other things that you can use to prepare. you have not recently been to Moti-Vitality.com, all my stuff is in the way here. Okay, so this is the page that we sent the links to you. If anybody does not have this link, let us know. We can send it, because you cannot get to this anywhere except from direct links. Okay, so there's no way to navigate to this just simply by going to Moti-Vitality.com unless you have type in this directly into the URL. Even then, you have to have permission from the class. So you have to have a membership and have been registered for this class in order to get to this page. So this is your special page. Okay. Yeah, that's where I was going with that, Jen. It's excellent. There's the link that Jen's putting up now on the chat screen. Okay. And in the original information email, it would be on there as well. Okay, so there's your course outline, but the things that are of value here, if you go here to, here's your proctor guidelines. So if you were going to have it proctored in, this is how to do it. This is the form that we just showed you, or the letter that from Dr. Lubner. So if you click on this, and that will open that PDF up. That's the link from Dr. Lubner, or that letter from Dr. Lubner. This is a generic test report to show you. This is the one where they failed. I should actually put Jen's up there just to show what a successful one would be like. This right here, for your listening pleasure, this is an interview for when we do a weekly MD Pro call every Thursday morning, where we have sales professionals come on and talk about just different things relevant to our industry. And we actually invited Dr. Lubner on the call one morning to speak to us about the test, about how to prepare for the test, with everything. So this is if you want to go on and listen to Tanya Lubner talk about what to study for the test, how to prepare, some good testing procedures, that is definitely worth a listen. Okay, that's MP3, so you can listen to that. But it will, if you click on it, it will actually open it up, and you'll be able to listen to it. Uh-oh. Maybe I should check that link. It looks as if that I may have to check that link. Okay, I will do that right after. It looks like that link may not be working. So I will check that and have that corrected within a half hour of this phone call. Okay, I'm glad I looked at that. Good to know. And then here's where you can view, if you have not already, this is where you'll be able to go back and review all the previous courses. You notice week 13 on the troubleshooting, the recording for some reason did not work through WebEx, and so the week 13 troubleshooting that I have up is from a previous class. It's the same information. We went through the same slides, did the same thing, so it's the same information. You're just, it's from a previous course, so I do have that up. And then last week's week 14 on the legal considerations. And here are all your practice exams. Okay, so there are practice exams for each course each week, and then you have we have a 100-question exam, a 25-question exam, a 50-question, and a 30-question. And actually what I'm going to do here with our time is, after I'm done answering all of your questions, I am going to go through this 25-question, and we're just going to take a test together and do a review. I can tell you the 100-question, I put that up there. It has a lot of questions on there that are a lot of chemistry-based questions, a lot of things that will not necessarily be on the exam, okay? But it will give you an idea of how general the exam can be, and it will give you an idea of what it's like to take a 100-question test. That's almost like you know, running a practice test, just so you can see what it's like to do that. You know, how many questions there are to go through it. The 25-question and a 30-question test were both written by people. A lot of the questions were written by people that had very recently taken the WQA exam. So the questions are not the exact same that you would find on the exam, but they are kind of representative of the types of things that you will find. I really tried not to teach to the test as I give these classes, but I do want to prepare you. I mean, the hard part about this test is that it, like I said, it covers everything. I mean, the advanced classes, the CWS Advanced, the levels 2 through 6, I think what makes them a little easier is they're very specific. So you get a book, for example, on filtration, and all you talk about is filtration. As opposed to going in and taking this exam, you've got, you know, I mean, everything from filtration to installation to aeration. I mean, there's so much there, and that's kind of the hard part. So any questions? Do you guys have any questions that we can talk about in terms of preparation on the exam? I will tell you, you will be allowed to have a calculator. The only time you're ever going to need a calculator is there's one or two questions where they will give you all the information you need. And if you just look at it and take your time with it and just kind of take a deep breath and look at it, all the information is there, and the only thing you need a calculator for is just to add or subtract or multiply. Okay? For example, they'll give you, there's going to be a question that's going to ask about, or there could possibly be a question. Who knows? I don't know whether there will be one or not. But let's say, hypothetically, you had a question that asked what your pressure drops would be if you had to run through a globe valve and elbow, you know, 3/4 inch copper elbow globe valve. You know, what would be the pressure loss? Well, they will give you a chart that tells what the pressure loss is for each of these devices, and all you have to do is add them together. They'll give you that. You will be allowed to, you know, to have a calculator there. You'll have a scrap piece of paper that you can figure and calculate things on. You won't be allowed to have your phone. In fact, that's one of the things I'm going to suggest to you. You know, I took my certified installer exam in Indianapolis this last year, and one of the things that was so annoying to me was how many people left their phones on. Wow, I mean, that was just frustrating as heck. There were phones going and dinging and, you know, and buzzing, and it was just, aren't you guys going to miss my impressions? I have, how many impressions have I actually done through this course? I bet you guys are going to miss them, aren't you? But because that was my phone on vibrate impression. Pretty good, wasn't it? You guys were looking to check to see if somebody was calling. But turn your phones off because it's distracting. I mean, there's so much there already that's hard to keep focused on. So please turn your phones off. But I mean, you're technically not even supposed to have your phones in there. So I think it depends on who's administering the exams and where it's at. So what questions do you guys have? Any questions I could answer for you before we do the sample quiz and kind of go through it? A common question that I get is about how long is it going to take the test. They give you 4 hours. Most people can finish it in 1.5 to 2 hours, I think, maybe 2.5. Don't stress over it though. Take your time. Take your time and do it well. Any questions that you guys have? Okay. Let's go through this 25-question quiz. Let me show you what it looks like. If you guys have not taken the sample quizzes yet, then this is about these sample quizzes. If you go through these sample quizzes, this is something that I strongly recommend as well. I mean, they do have, by the way, sample questions in the back of the Water Treatment Fundamentals book, too, that you can study. I mean, if you know that stuff and you know it, you're going to do pretty well if you can answer it. The challenge that I think some people run into is they'll take all these sample quizzes on my website, and they'll memorize the answers. And that's a problem. You don't just take the quiz and memorize all the answers. If you don't know the material, then try and go back and study it, okay? All right, so here we have, okay, so I'm going to have this interactive. I'm going to let you guys pick the answers here, and we'll just kind of go through and do like we did with the review the other day, okay, or a couple weeks ago. So by weight, water consists of what percentage of oxygen? Good, you guys, good. Okay. Aeration serves two purposes in water treatment, which are, what do we have here? Degas and oxygenation, okay? There. Okay. Which type of aeration system is best suited for the oxygenation of water from chemical reactions? Which can transform dissolved metal substances into metal hydroxide compounds? Which type of aeration system is best suited for oxidization of water from chemical reactions, which can transform dissolved metal substances into metal hydroxide compounds? What do you guys think? Closed pressure question mark. Anybody else have a guess? Okay. We have open gravity or closed pressure. Let's go with. Do we have a third one? Who's the? Oh, we have a call-in user there. So. Oh, there's 3 question marks. We're going to go with 1 question mark. Okay. All right. Because we will get the results here at the end. Which is the most widely used? And I know the answers, though, but I want to go through and let you guys do it. So, which is the most widely used and most versatile product in both water and wastewater treatment? Activated carbon, calcite, green sand, or sand? Both water and wastewater treatments. Which is the most commonly used and most versatile product? See, this is a hard one, you know, because I mean, we did talk about. I mean, we know that it's sand or activated carbon. We narrowed those down, and that's the kind of test questions that you have, you know, that are frustrating. So, okay, pH range of blank and a water temperature of between 60 and 80 degrees provide the best environment for maximum activated carbon chlorine removal. What do you think? Let's go with 6.5 to 7.5. Okay, which of the following an example of absorption? Ab, notice the B, absorption. Okay, this is where it gets tough, right? Because we spend a lot of time talking about ab or an adsorption. So what's the difference? Okay, so Catherine's saying carbon. Okay. If you placed a piece of litmus paper on household bleach, it would turn what color? In household bleach, it would turn what color? Okay. A pH of 3 is blank more acidic than a pH of 7. This is a question that you, or a similar one that I'm almost sure you will see again in the future. Okay, so we've got 10,000. And one of the ways to do that is simply subtract the smaller number from the bigger number, and whatever the result is, add that many zeros. That's how I always remember it. Okay, so rather than counting through, so in this case, 7 minus 3 equals 4. So it's the number, the correct answer is the number with 4 zeros on it, which is, in this case, 10,000. According to the WQA standard, water that is 3.57 grains per gallon is considered to be, also a question you may see again, or one similar to it. 3.5 to 7 is considered to be slightly hard, John? Okay. The term salt efficiency is measured by which home water softeners are rated and is determined by dividing the grains of hardness removed per cycle by the pounds of salt for regeneration. Generally, a rating of blank is considered an efficient unit. So we have the answer 3350. Barium present can significantly reduce the effectiveness of a softener for hardness reduction. True or false? Oops. Okay, we have true. What is the ion that exchanges with nitrates in an ion nitrate removal system? What is the ion that exchanges with nitrates in an anion nitrate removal system? Chloride, okay. What percent of sodium chloride concentration is considered a full-strength brine? What percent? Okay, so 25 to 26%. We have the answer there. I like how you put question marks on all of the answers, John. It's great. It's like we're at Jeopardy. Okay, modern day cation resins may fracture or break down physically as if they are oversalted. Modern day cation resins may fracture or break down physically if they are oversalted. True or false? Okay, we have false answer. Another name for dissolved iron is what? Okay, we have ferric. Okay, so put that one down. Oh, okay, good save. Good save. That one was going to be. I was going to put it down as the wrong one there, Captain. So good save. Okay, levels. I was going slow. Okay, let's move to 16. So this is a good one. Okay, levels of iron over blank can cause discoloration in the home. Good. 3.3. Besides smelling really bad, hydrogen sulfide can be flammable, poisonous, tarnished silver, all the above. Yeah, it's all the above. Hardness minerals in the softening process are destroyed, replaced, or neutralized. This is the kind of question you will see again too, because this is where they're testing your understanding of the process, right? Because we know that we've heard the term ion exchange. So this is helping to make sure that you understand what ion exchange is. This is where they're talking about testing your knowledge of the process. Iron, one of the most common elements in the Earth's crust, is also the most susceptible to corrosion. True or false? True or false in this one? Okay. False. Low to moderate concentrations of chlorides and sulfates may add palatability to the water. Palatability. True. They also, at higher levels, can have a laxative effect. Remember that. Okay, if a manufacturer's installation instructions are ever at variance with the area's building codes, the installer should follow the local regulations. True or false? fully automatic softener, and you may see a question like this, okay? Remember, do not calculate reserve capacities on this, but a fully automatic softener, if a fully automatic softener were installed to soften 30-grain water for a family of 6, using an estimated 50 gallons of water each per day, the unit would have a minimum daily capacity of what? And this is where you'd use your calculator as well. So see, it's giving you all the information, all right? You got to calculate the capacity. So 30-grain water for a family of 6, using an estimated 50 gallons of water each day, the unit would have to have a minimum daily capacity of, okay? Let's look at how we calculate that. Okay, we're going to take the well, we'll do that at the end because we're going to go through these. So we're saying 9,000. Okay. Water from which all or most minerals have been removed through the ion exchange process is referred to as water from which all or most minerals have been removed through the ion exchange process is referred to as demineralization. An ion is an electrically charged atom or group of atoms. Okay, that's true. That's what we have there. Okay. Water and carbon dioxide react to produce a weak acid called, I'm going to sneeze here. Excuse me. Wow. Carbon, thank you. Bleeny and gesundheit. Thank you, everybody. I feel so loved. Okay. All right, so let's show our results. Okay, here we go. Here's the results. So we scored 23 out of 25. Good job, you guys. That means we have a percentage of 92. Let's look. Okay, so water by weight consists of, yeah, that's good. Degasification and oxidation, that's the aeration. That's good. The closed pressure aerator, that was a good one. I think that there was some controversy over that. Somebody had put open gravity. So which type of aeration system best suited for oxidation of water from chemical reactions, which can transform dissolved metal substances and metal hydroxide compounds? When it's closed pressure like that, that's the closed pressure aerator. So like you don't have the tank that repumps and repressurizes and drops the chlorine pellets in and everything. Okay, so this is the one that I think gets some people too, which is the most widely used and most versatile. It's the most versatile that makes this activated carbon. Okay, sand is the most readily available. I mean, there's plenty of sand throughout the world. I mean, you can get that, but it's not the most versatile. Okay. pH range, yeah, right in here. Actually, when in doubt, go back to look at the pH there. Or when in doubt, try and go to neutral. I think things tend to work best when they're in the neutral range. Which of the following is an example of adsorption? So we had a couple people. Jen, you did put sponge, but you already know. So absorption is like a sponge. Adsorption, would be activated carbon. Okay, so think about absorption is a guy eating the pie. Adsorption is pie on the guy's face. Okay, so adsorption, like carbon, is a surface phenomenon. All right. If you place a piece of litmus paper in household bleach, it would turn what color? Blue. Okay, so base. Although Tanya Lubner, when she came in, she said that sometimes household bleach can have, and this was a surprise to me, but because it is considered an oxidizer, and oxidizers generally are basic, but Tanya said that sometimes bleach can have a slightly acidic pH to it, but that got more chemical than I was interested in. So in general, that they should be blue. A pH of 3 is more acidic, blank more acidic of 7, and that's correct. We already talked about how to do that one. According to the WQA standard, water that is 3.5 to 7 is considered the answer is moderately hard. You're going to want to review. You guys are familiar with this chart, okay? But there will be a question. I know when you get a question like that, it's like, oh, what was that? Don't take it for granted that you'll remember exactly what it was. Become familiar with that chart. Use the WQA's version of it. Okay? It's the one that that we showed on the slide, the one that's in the book. That's the one that you need to remember off of. So that water would be considered moderately hard. Term sulfur efficiency is a measure by which home water softeners are rated. You guys did well on that, 3350, very good. Barium, yeah, barium definitely will reduce it. You may see a question similar to this again. Basically what it's testing here, the concept, is that other things carry chemical properties, similar chemical properties. Remember we talked about that on the periodic chart of the elements, so if there's other stuff in the water. And by the way, can a water softener remove some radioactive contaminants? Can it take them out? Will a water? Yes, yes it can. Barium being an example. Barium is radioactive. So yes it can. And it does reduce the capacity. Okay. What is the ion that exchanges with nitrates? That was chloride. So that was good. What percent of sodium chloride concentration is considered full brine? You guys did well there too, 25, 26. Modern day cation resins may fracture or break down physically if they're oversalted. That's false. They actually like it. They like to expand and contract. Good save on the ferrous iron. Remember, ferrous is dissolved. You can't. It's a clear water iron. Good. Levels of over blank can cause discoloration in the home. 0.3. Good. You guys did well on that. Besides smelling really bad, hydrogen sulfide does all the above. Yes. Hardness minerals in the softening process are replaced. That's so it's ion exchange, so they're replacing them. Very good. Low to moderate concentrations of chlorides and sulfates may add palatability to the water. That's true. Nicely done. Manufacturer's installation instructions are ever at variance with the area building codes. The installer should follow the local regulations. True. A fully automatic softener were installed. You guys figured this one out. So the way we calculated that, and you guys got this correct, so you probably already know how to do that, but the way you calculate it is then you're going to take 30 grains per gallon, 30 grains per gallon. And so we know that for every gallon of water they use 30 gallons, okay? We also know that there are 6 people in the family, and they're using 50 gallons a day. So if they're using an estimated 50 gallons a day, so 50 times 6 is going to be 300. 300 times 30 grains per, so 300 gallons a day is what they're using. 300 times 30 is 9,000. So that's, you need to have a water softener that will soften at least 9,000 gallons a day. Water from which all or most minerals have been removed through the ion exchange process is referred to demineralization. And Catherine, I noticed that you had put on the answer cation exchange. Cation exchange would only remove the cations, okay? It would only remove the positively charged ions from the water. Well, and even then it wouldn't completely remove, it would put sodium or whatever the regenerate was that it was using. So demineralization is going to be the entire process. You're going to go, it's going to be a 2-step process. You're going to remove both the cations and the anions. So so you're correct in the technology or in the chemical process, but this is one of those things where you stop and think about it, you know, and think about the question because it can throw you off. There will be questions on like this. Okay, an ion is an electrically charged atom or group of atoms. True. And finally, water and carbon dioxide react to produce weak acid called carbonic acid. You may see something like that again too. Okay. There are, like I said, sample questions online. I mean, you get to those. I will here when I'm done go through and repair the link to Tanya's interview because it's or to Tanya's call because I think it's pretty valuable. I wonder why that didn't work. I'm kind of I don't know why that one didn't work, but I will try and repair that link and get that up. I know I have the recording, and so I may have to re-upload it again. But we checked on that. That's it doesn't. Yeah, it's not there at all. It's not working. That link's not working. So broken link. So I will fix that. I'll have that up. Is there anything else that you guys need from me? Anything else that you need that would help you prepare? While I have you here, would you like us to send you the invite for the remaining courses, remaining classes that we have for our Wednesday morning class? We can put you on that list if you. Okay, Catherine's saying yes. John, are you interested in that as well? And anybody else that's listening to this, those of you taking this course anybody who's listening to the recordings of this, if you get this and you would like us to, please contact us and let us know that as well. This has been interesting. This is actually the first time. I mean, and I wanted to say I do appreciate those of you that are on live. This is the first time that we've had this many people come back and take the course and listen, just to listen to the recordings later. It's kind of interesting, but. And so I appreciate everybody taking the course. It's been great talking to all of you. So, but I do like having those of you on live, so I appreciate that too. Last thing I wanted to mention is if you have not, all of you have been members of Moti-Vitality.com. Please take advantage of the other tools on Moti-Vitality.com if you've not explored it. You guys all have that membership. Take advantage of it. If there's something more you need on the site in general to help you with your business, let me know that too. And I do appreciate any feedback or advice that you guys can give. If there's something that I can do to make this course better, something that you have liked or have not liked, anything at all, any feedback at all to help us improve these courses would be awesome. I would very, very much appreciate it. So contact Jen or I via email or telephone, and I really appreciate hearing your feedback from you. And then the biggest thing is, like any teacher, I want to know how you do. Please, actually, Catherine, that's a good point. Once you guys take the class or take the test, if you want to come back, you will not have to pay for this course again. Okay? If you come back and want to sit in future courses for you, then you can, and it actually qualifies you. Each class qualifies you for 1/10 of a credit. So you will get credit, get recertification credit coming back in and sitting through the courses again. Good question. How long till you get the results on the test? They send them out. So if you're taking it at EWQA, you can expect about 3 weeks, like 3 weeks of torture. But you can check the website. They update the website pretty much every day with new people that are certified. So you can look to see if your name will show up on the website as a certified member, as somebody certified. We've had pretty good success with people that have taken this course and then taken the test. It is important that you read the books and take the sample test, and you'll do well. But it's about 3 weeks after you take the test that you'll get the results. Question. Keep in mind, once you do get your level 1 certification, we do offer advanced certification courses. They're not 15 weeks. They are webinar. They're usually anywhere, depending on the advanced course, anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks long. And we do it basically the same format. And then we have the certified installer course as well. That's a 10-week webinar course. So I think that's pretty much it. Do you guys have any other questions? Appreciate it very, very, very much. If you have not been on LinkedIn with us, then please go to LinkedIn and throw us a reference letter up. That would be awesome, or just email it to us. That'd be awesome too. And and because that stuff always helps. And then if you haven't liked us on Facebook, please do that too. But, we post a lot of stuff and do a lot of things there too. We share a lot of info. So thanks, everybody. Good luck to you. We will send you the invite to the new course, so we'll probably see you there as well. And Jen, we'll put them on the list, on the new list, and we'll talk to you guys soon. If you need anything, let me know.